Brothers, welcome to this week's lecture, which I have quite an interesting presentation for you. I'm here to tell you something that may sound very, very counterintuitive. I'm here to tell you if you want to get the abs, don't focus on the abs, which sounds absurd because clearly you're on this plan. We've all set, me and you have set this goal together. We know where you're aiming for 8 to 10% body fat, certain scale weight in a certain amount of time frame, and we're here to change your life. And that is absolutely true. However, don't focus solely on the abs to do this. So let's roll into today's presentation. So the first concept I want to give you comes from this book here. It's a decent read, one for a bit of bedtime reading. The Way of the Superior Man by David Dana. I think I've quoted something of his, I'm sure in one of our lectures in the past. And chapter 1 is to stop hoping for a completion of anything in life. And I'll just read this passage out and then expand on it. So it says, most men make the error of thinking that one day it will be done. They think, if I can work hard enough, then one day I can rest. Or one day my woman will understand something and then she will stop complaining. Or I'm only doing this now so that one day I can do what I really want to do in life. The masculine error is to think that eventually things will be different in some fundamental way. They won't. It never ends. As long as life continues, the creative challenge is to tussle, play, and make love with the present moment while giving your unique gift. I find this a really good analogy to put in the concept of trying to get in shape. Because people will think, when I get the six-pack, then I can enjoy my life. When I'm in shape, then I can be worthy of love and approval from the people around me. When I get in shape, I can stop doing all of this hard, like eating clean, training 3 times a week, stepping 10k steps every day. None of that is going to end. You must understand that from this point forward, if you have started this journey, you will never stop. There will never be a week goes by unless it's a structured deload week where you won't be in the gym, where you won't be out walking, where you won't be thinking about your food in some way, shape or form. You may be thinking, no, this is time to have a good off-plan meal and I'm doing this intentionally. But you'll always be thinking about food and what you should be eating. The game that you are playing now never ends. The phase you're in absolutely does end. You're not going to be dieting down to get to 10% body fat forever. Absolutely not. That phase you will complete, but then you will move on to the next chapter, which most likely will be improve more muscle bulk. Or it might be you've got the physique that you ever so hope for, and that now you can pivot into a sporting or some form of martial arts, whatever the thing was you wanted to do. But each layer was there to step you into the next, like we spoke about the purpose layer. Your purpose layer now may be to get to 8 to 10% body fat. And then after that, it's so you got to that level so you can do the next venture of your life. But the game we play now never ends. It never ends. So you must enjoy each day as you go through. This means don't focus on the abs, the end outcome. Just focus on the daily disciplines that you need to do. So don't hope for a completion of getting up at 6 a.m. to go out and do your steps, because that day's never going to come. Don't hope for a completion of not having to eat clean chicken and rice, because that day's never going to come. And definitely don't hope for a day where you don't have to go in the gym and apply progressive overload and train to failure, because I can tell you now that day is never going to come for as long as you want to keep the physique. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll run hot forever. Sure, you can to maintain something is completely different than it is to attain the thing in the first place. But don't think that you're on this for a certain period of time and then when it finishes, the whole thing stops and you can go back to being the old version of you. You are this version of you now, this athlete version of you, and as a result of that, you don't even hope that for this to end. Just enjoy the process week by week by week, and as a byproduct of you being that individual, you will have the physique, you will have the mindset, you will have everything you want because you are that person, not because you focused on the end outcome. So don't hope for a completion of anything. Enjoy the present in the here and now, and if you're not happy with something, then change it ASAP, because man's greatest weakness is thinking, I will suffer now to enjoy later when I'm older. Don't think like that. Enjoy what you do now, and if you don't enjoy what you do now, then figure out a way to change it so you do enjoy it. There is no purpose of life. However, you could say the closest thing to a purpose of life is just to enjoy every day. We're only on this earth for a certain amount of time, so there's no point thinking, I'll sacrifice X amount of years and then just to have a bit of fun in these years here. Just enjoy the process of what you're doing now. Now, that's not me saying don't do hard stuff. I pretty much work most hours of the day, and I tell you now, I do it with an absolute smile on my face. Nothing brings me more happiness than recording this presentation for you. Nothing brings me more happiness than doing your check-ins and seeing progress. It really, really doesn't. Nothing brings me more happiness than getting in the gym and beating what I did last time. I could do, like, this is me living the absolute dream. And I don't wish for any of it to end anytime soon. I don't want a completion of this thing. I just want to keep doing the thing. Find that within your own lives. Don't sell years of your life now thinking it will be better later, because you don't even know if it will be better. You might actually sell your life for a certain amount of years, do the thing that you then wanted to, and realize it wasn't even that important, wasn't even that good of a thing. Live in the here and now and make every day count. So that's the first concept I wanted to give you. The next one is chasing versus attracting. You can all remember a time in your life where you may have chased a person. For all of us here, I believe we're all men watching this. You could probably remember a time where you've chased after a woman, and what happened? Did you get her? More than likely not. Because whenever we chase after something, we are showing a lack of something and that we need a certain thing. Whenever you chase anything in life, you will not get the thing. When creating the Gorilla Platoon, I've never chased after money. I didn't chase after send me payment, because that doesn't fulfill me. The only thing I focused on was results. As long as people got results, I could go to bed at night thinking, this is nice. This guy now looks a lot better because of the coaching that we've taken him through, and he now sees the world in a different light. That, to me, gets me so excited. That gets me out of bed in the morning with a fucking absolute stonk on. It really, really excites me. And because of that, everything I ever needed came to me. I never focused on the thing, even though people tell me, no, you have a business, the purpose of the business is to make money. The purpose of this business is not to make money. The purpose of this business is to create a powerful set of individuals that believe they can generally do anything, to tap into their potential so they can go and summit the world and take on whatever they thought was possible, because we're much better as a community of people that are pushing each other to do so, and having someone in your corner each week going, you can do this, or you pushing to the next level. Because if you don't have someone like that, your own brain will sabotage where it thinks you can get to, because it's only going off the past data that yourself has given it, i.e. the habits, the mindsets, and the conditioning that people have given to your brain. So we have to be part of this group where we can then push each other forward in order to go and take on what is possible in life. That sort of stuff gives me massive purpose. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, I do this for absolute free, because A, I need to eat, and B, the money we do make, we can then put into, as we know, we're running 2 photo shoots this year, one in the US and then one in the UK, where obviously you'll do your photo shoot, all that'll be covered by me, and you'll get some fucking cool photos, and we get to meet up in person as well. So obviously there is merit to needing it, but it's not the sole focus. The sole focus is the meetup and you getting in an insane condition and being able to document that and keep your photos to show and always look back on what you achieved in that period. Another interesting concept I liked is, why do people who win money end up with nothing? So you've heard of this before, and I thought, is this actually true? And I just jumped onto Yahoo Finance, and it just there's a few examples. There was about 8 of them, but this one I thought was interesting. So they won 2.19 million jackpot, and somehow still ended up with $10. Like, that is absolutely unfathomable. How the fuck? How in God's green earth do you go from having 2.9 million to $10? You would think that is absolutely baffling, but I can really understand why that happens. Because we could find a real fat person. We could find him on the street. And if we said, in this made-up analogy, I can click my fingers tomorrow and you will wake up with a six-pack. You wake up with the dream body. Do you know what would happen to that guy within 6 months? He'd fuck it up. You know why? Because he wasn't capable. His room smells like fucking Wotsits. There is cakes in his cupboard that have been there for months that he eats when he fucking can't be asked to walk to the shop. The thought of him going on a treadmill repulses him. The thought of being in shape is this hard thing that requires a lot of discipline, and he doesn't want to do that. So he would fuck it up because he's not capable. The same reason why I can imagine people lose all the money, because they just weren't capable to handle 2.19 million. So no wonder they just spunk through it with stupid decisions. Because it wasn't about attaining the thing. We can give you the thing there and then. If you didn't become the individual you needed to along the way, you'll fuck it up. It's the same reason why, and again, we always use women as a great example. If you ever had a woman that you thought was well out of your league, and she gave you a chance, you saw her once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever the fuck. eventually you would do something to fuck it up because you think, I don't know why she's giving me a chance. This is better than what I'm usually attaining, and you'll just do something in your aura that'll present that you're not that individual that deserves that person. So lo and behold, that thing will just move away from you. This is the same analogy, and the same goes for why people just can't keep a six-pack long term, because you can click their fingers, they can have the thing. If they're not the individual, if they've not been through the trials and tribulations, they'll fuck it up because they're not that person. And that's why not to focus on the abs itself, focus on the individual that you need to become. The last concept I want to give you is be excited to practice the discipline you know. And the analogy I always like to remember of this is when we were, and a lot of you will have been in the military, when you go through basic training and you're in a harbour area, which is like a wood block, and you've got cam cream on and it's raining and you've just been woken up in the middle of the night, and the next day you can just see everyone and they're just morale sapped and it's down. I would really feed off of the people that just looked in a lot worse condition to me. Maybe they got like some rash on their chin from their chin strap being wet, their feet are in bits, their like kit just looks bad, and that you could just see their morale is slowly slipping out of them. I would go up to these people and just absolutely suck out the last bit of morale just by looking at them and thinking, you're in rag, aren't you? And they'd be like, oh. And I'd be like, you are a pussy, mate. You are an absolute sack, you pussy. And I would get the last of their weakness. But what I'm actually doing there is I'm looking at them in a lot worse position to me, and then I'm feeding off the fact that I'm not in that position. I'm feeding off, I'm all right here. This isn't great, but I'll be all right. Skin's been wet before. I've been tired before. Like, we'll be all right. I've had a rash on my chin before. It's not going to be a problem. I know for a fact in 3 days' time, when I've been back in, I've slept well, I've eaten well, I've washed. I'm not going to even remember how I'm feeling now. So feeding off people's weakness, and how this will go in your transformation is you'll be doing the daily disciplines. You'll be saying, no, I ain't going out for this meal, or yes, I'll come out, but I can only eat exactly this steak. And your friends will go, what the fuck, you can only eat this steak? What do you mean you can only eat a steak? Like, this is a bit excessive. This is not, that's what they said. This is not sustainable. No, motherfucker, it's not supposed to be sustainable. We're trying to get in the best shape of our lives. We don't live like this forever. And how you get something, as I said, is not how you keep it. But they're never going to understand that because we're not normal people. So, but what you can do is when they're saying these things to you, you almost take it in a nice, like, arrogant zest way that, yeah, I know you wouldn't be able to do this, but I can because we are not the same. I am different. I am of a stronger mindset, stronger capacity. Therefore, I can do the thing. And it almost gets you excited to be out at 6 a.m. walking. Like, you could be out at 6 a.m. walking straight on the story. I was like, fucking hell, this guy's up early and he's out walking. This is a disciplined individual. This is a guy that's going to take what he wants. People see you in the gym. You all send in your form clips. You put in there your top set training to absolute failure. Everyone's like, fucking hell, this guy trains like really hard. Like, what you're doing is you're doing a really, really hard thing, but you're feeding off other people, almost like saying, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. And they try and give you a negative spin on it. You just feed off that. You're like, well, you couldn't do it, but I can. And then it makes you even more excited to practice the discipline you know. That is in a book, which I'm actually using to prop up the mic. This book here, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Very, very good book. Highly recommend you read it. And it was one of the quotes inside there, which I've always taken through into my life. So yeah, if you see people, if they think you're weird and robotic, it's a compliment. We feed off that. We are not normal people. So it was never about the six-pack. And I've said this to most of you in your check-ins. I've said this across YouTube many, many times for those of you that have watched it. It was never about the six-pack. Because we can give you the six-pack tomorrow. Well, we can't actually, but in our analogy, we can click our fingers, you got the six-pack. But that individual would fuck it up. Because it wasn't about that. It was about what the six-pack resembled. The reason why people think, oh, six-pack, cool, yeah. It's because everyone knows, no, you can't buy it. Obviously, you can get coaching to get there, but you can't physically buy it. You can't just have someone give it to you. Only you can do the work that then spits out that result. And that is a symbol of who you are as an individual. It's not about the six-pack. It's about what it resembles. It's about the fact that you are disciplined enough to slightly starve yourself for a period of time and resistance train. You're disciplined enough to say no to other things that are going to jeopardize this thing. And you're consistent enough to do that day after day after day after day after day and practice that discipline. It was about the person you needed to become to get the six-pack. And because of that, guess what? You attracted the thing, you got the thing, and the six-pack will stay on your body forever because you're that guy now. So when I say it's not about the six-pack, it's about the man you need to become to get the six-pack. I hope you found this one useful. If you did, let me know your thoughts, comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.